This is everybody's day. This is everybody's day. Whether without or within. Many times when I got jammed like that, my tongue started from here. Don't believe me. When the jungle matures, there are places that are designed to quench prayers. You came in with a lighted candle. Your only crime was that you came. And we go to preach. Every time you come, you say, "Whoa!" Was he a boy I went to? Slept in Lagos. I was beautiful. Entered the plane. I was beautiful. I told the head of the NCCF, I said, when we get into the borders of Ebonyi, please inform me. And I'll talk a little with him. Oh, this thing. And as we got to the border of Ebonyi, he said, we're entering now. I began to feel fever. Inside this same car. He was still talking. Daddy, I've been looking for an opportunity to meet you. I want to ask. And I now grabbed this and I said, I smell human sacrifices. When I got to my room, about 5 of them were leading me. We climbed to the stairs. My room was upstairs. An elderly woman, maybe about 45, 55. I think she should have almost crossed 50. Had heard that a senior minister was coming. They had prepared the room. So when I came in, and the way I travel now, very casually. So she came and bent like that. I didn't want her knee to touch the ground, so I carried her. She lifted off the ground, flung her, and she was in tongues for long. I walked into my room, but before they got downstairs, I called the president. Please tell the sisters come back with her. I need anti-malaria now. So are you good? I said, I'm good for the meeting tonight. I got to the middle of my sermon and tears began. This year now, tears began to come out of my eyes. I knew if I stayed too long, I'll be like a dead man. I needed to escape into a secret place to pray the way they won't understand. All this no. They want to kill you. If the tongues don't flow, you will enter into your mother tongue. Oluwa. So I began to cry. And I announced to them, I said, well, something has happened to me. I felt like, you are light and you are floating. The utterances were still coming, but I need to get to a place where I'm not fighting and preaching, where I'm fighting alone. So I went to my room. Can we? I said, don't worry. They met all the food they brought to me during that trip. They met it there. I could not eat. It was just entering the physical borders of a state and smelling human sacrifice and crack. In the middle of the night, I felt like easing myself. I tried to put my leg down. I found out that my legs could no longer support my body. So I crawled on my knee and my hands to the toilet. Went back to my bed. I was in tears. Said, Jesus, you will show yourself. So they called me in the morning. Should we get you on the next flight home to come and do what? Trouble this precious woman that something has happened. I said, I'll be in the meeting this morning. All I need, don't do tea. It's just hot water. That's the only thing I ingested during that meeting. Make sure, let me burn my chest. That morning was a brutal meeting. I didn't start preaching. Attacked darkness, took out all kinds of things. By the night, I was myself. Said, this night, I will leave a mark here I came. It's not always easy. You become hopeless when you forget that there was a way you were designed to thrive. I don't believe in master key concepts when it comes to spiritual things, not especially because of the Beatitudes. But you know that old song? It still has some relevance, at least some parts of it. It says prayer is the key. Prayer is the key. I'm okay. They say prayer is the master key. I know that you can be praying and some things can still be going wrong. So, but the song says Jesus started with prayer. His sign out was also in prayer. If I want to paraphrase the song, I will add that he continued in prayer. Ono king dimaladura. One of those days I was in a lorry with Baba Dio, and Baba looked at me. It was evening. She said, Wama low. I now said, okay, that we have not prayed. I didn't pray long. Okay, so he held my hand and just prayed, your son, all those things that the fathers pray, keep him, let your hand be upon him. He now said in Yoruba, Adura, Adura, Adura. Be a janino mineo, Adura na BSC. That's what I said to me. That you are like a fish inside water. Your own water is prayer. That's where you were birthed into. You will only prevail in that realm. A few years ago, when I was mopping my sitting room and I saw a white mist descend on a Sunday afternoon preparing for service, and I saw a man with 7 locks of hair walk into the cloud and said to me, "Come." He said in Yoruba, "Oma, wa." And then we flew in the air. We were at Taki at that roundabout towards Akoni bus stop. And he pointed and said, "This is where he labored when he was in Ogbomosho." And then gave me a rod. He said, "Strike the ground. Strike, strike, strike." The ground looked hard, but I kept hitting. Ba, ba, ba. He said, keep striking, keep striking. And then I saw water began to seep out. And then he said to me in Yoruba, "Omi soji lon jade. Omi soji lon jade. O power yin adura ni o." Then I did my research and found that it was Moisori Molade that God allowed to penetrate my space and take me to the very same place that is recorded on Google that he ministered in Turkey. It means there's a well in the land, but only a man of prayer will release the waters in that well. The key is prayer. Like men were designed to function by the prescription of prayer, a prayerless church will be a slave church. And the reason why many churches seemingly thrive outside prayer is that they are not on the path of any kind of warfare. They have found a comfort zone that no longer disturbs the enemy. They have found comfort in cohabiting with the enemy. When we wake up to do what Jesus called us to do, to begin to operate according to the 2 metaphors with which he described us in Matthew chapter 5, calling us the salt and calling us the light, we will be in the line of the fire. And in that day, all of us will come to the understanding that only the prayerful will be victorious. I don't know the fate of every other member in your family, but the praying man ultimately will tell another story. Yes, it is when you start on that path, it is recorded in God's realm that you have chosen another course of existence. Pray, 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 pray. When the apostles showed up in Acts chapter 2, they found out that they were empowered, but they were a minority. And so they reconnected back to what was propounded by the utterances of Seth. That our disadvantage in the flesh can be accounted for if we stay in prayer. And they continued. They continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine and fellowship, and in the breaking of bread and prayers. They prayed in the morning, they prayed in the afternoon. Every window was expended in prayers. Palakum pakabavanta kubahata. Kabo katwake shatika nako. Ekafe kamofina kate. Lafika dia farado. Eruate feka foskata. Ampe kofe fande akai. Ashika kavalate kavento. Impakapai. Akekefeni kivarakata. Shateka. They continued. Ikapele kapali katalia shata. Arate tete. Esiasita baratola. Aletantantaba. Ratata pepe latenas. Asiatana note. Etitete tonteno sentoniata. Ai laterege tutiata ranatoles kahai. Sheke kapapa. Kato. I kakaparasa. Sanele katele katili katamala fada. Atatatata. Aquakato sata katila kiata. Kemra kekave. Atita kamami.